The top 10 One Piece enemies that turned into allies. Number 10. Qin Zhao. In One Piece, Qin Zhao is a former pirate and the retired 12th leader of the Hoppo Navy. He was first introduced as a participant in the Corrida Coliseum, a battle royal for the Mera Mera no Mi, a powerful and rare devil fruit, and also a participant in the Dressroses tournament. Qin Zhao is a powerful fighter with Conqueror's Haki and a unique ability to harden his head, making it as hard as diamond, and is also known for his grudge against Garp, a powerful Marine Vice Admiral and Luffy's grandfather. Qin Zhao initially appears as an enemy to Luffy, as he saw him as a descendant of Garp, who had caused him to lose his treasure and his ability to use his head as a weapon, during a battle in the past. He also believes that Garp was the one who caused his beloved grandson to be born with a weak head. However, during the Corrida Coliseum, Qin Zhao's grudge with Garp was resolved when Luffy later helped him revert his head back to normal with an insane Haki-coated punch from Luffy. Later Qin Zhao formed a temporary alliance with Luffy, to fight against Doflamingo, a powerful pirate and the main antagonist of Dressrosa arc. Despite the fact that Luffy and Qin Zhao were competing against each other in the Coliseum, in the end, Qin Zhao's grandson Sai joins under the Straw Hats fleet, and Qin Zhao himself part of the alliance. Number 9. Franky. In One Piece, Franky first meets Luffy and the Straw Hat crew during their journey in the Water 7, a city built on and around a giant shipyard. The Straw Hat crew arrived in Water 7 in search of a shipwright to build them a new ship, and they eventually met Franky, who was a shipwright and a leader of the Franky family, a group of ship dismantlers and repairers. At first Franky appeared as an enemy of the Straw Hat crew and even stole all their accumulated wealth that was to be used for a new ship. Franky initially refused to help the Straw Hats, but they eventually managed to gain his trust and friendship after helping him to stop a group of criminals known as the Galley Law Company who were trying to take over the shipyard. After the incident, Franky joins the Straw Hat crew as their shipwright and builds them a new ship, the Thousand Sunny, which becomes their new vessel for their journey. Franky also becomes a close friend of Luffy and his crew, and joins them on their future adventures. Number 8. Bon Clay. Mr. 2 Bon Clay is a former officer of the Baroque Works and an enemy of the Straw Hat Pirates during the Alabasta arc. Bon Clay later meets Luffy during his journey to the Impel Down, the world government's prison, to save his brother, Portgas Diaz. Bon Clay was also imprisoned in Impel Down and was able to help Luffy navigate through the prison by using his power of Ma Ni no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit which allows him to take on the appearance of anyone. He also helped to spread the word of Luffy's arrival to the other prisoners, which ultimately led to a massive breakout from the prison. Bon Clay's actions were not only limited to helping Luffy, but also helped many prisoners and allies to escape, and his actions were key to the success of the Impel Down breakout, which all ultimately contributed to Luffy's participation in the Marineford War. Number 7. Smoker. Smoker is a Marine officer who was first introduced as an enemy of the Straw Hat crew back in Logtown. He is a powerful Marine with the ability to turn his body into smoke, which allows him to move quickly and evade attacks. He is known for his strict adherence to the Marines' code of justice and his determination to capture Luffy and his crew. In the Punk Hazard arc, Smoker formed a temporary alliance with Luffy and his pirate crew to save a group of abducted children and defeat the scientist called Caesar Clown and escape his new chemical mass destruction weapon. In the end, Smoker decides not to capture Luffy, as he realizes that Luffy's actions are driven by a desire to protect his friends and the innocent, and that he is not the typical pirate. Smoker then, also decides to turn a blind eye to Luffy's actions and let him be, making him a potential ally in the future. Number 6. Bartholomew Kuma. Bartholomew Kuma, also known as Kuma, is a former Shishibukai and a powerful cyborg, was first introduced as an enemy of the Straw Hat crew during the Thriller Bark arc. He is known for his ability to create shockwaves, repel and counter his enemies' attacks. In Sabaody Archipelago, Kuma was sent by the world government to deal with the supernovas who later will be known as the Worst Generation. When Luffy and his crew were at the Sabaody Archipelago, they were confronted by Kuma, who was ordered to capture them. Despite his initial reluctance, Kuma uses his powers to repel Luffy and his crew, but he spares them and even sends them away from Sabaody Archipelago, as he does not want to see them harmed by the Marines. It's worth to mention that Kuma is not a direct ally of Luffy, but he helps him by sparing his life and sending him away from Sabaody Archipelago, which in turn helps Luffy and his crew to escape the Marines' encirclement and continue their journey. Number 5. Dracula Mihawk. Roronoa Zoro's mentor, Dracula Mihawk, also known as Hawkeye, is a powerful swordsman and a member of the Shishibukai, a group of 7 powerful pirates who have allied themselves with the world government. He is known as the greatest swordsman in the world and is one of the main antagonists in the East Blue arc. Luffy and his crew first met Mihawk in the Barati, a floating restaurant in the East Blue. Mihawk easily defeated Krieg and his crew and was about to leave, but he was confronted by Zoro, who wanted to try and defeat Mihawk to gain the title of the greatest swordsman in the world. Mihawk agreed to fight Zoro, and during the battle, Mihawk was impressed by Zoro's courage and honor and spared Zoro's life. From then on, Zoro vowed he would never lose again and one day defeat Mihawk to become the world's greatest swordsman. Later on, during the Marineford War, Mihawk fought against the Whitebeard pirates along with the other Shishibukai, but didn't engage in combat with Luffy or his crew. After the war, Mihawk is seen training Zoro, which implies that Mihawk has kept an eye on Luffy and his crew, and is helping Zoro to become stronger. It's worth mentioning that Mihawk is not a direct ally of Luffy, but he is helping one of his crew members, Zoro, to become stronger, which in turn helps Luffy and his crew in their journey. Number 4. Trafalgar D. Law. Trafalgar D. Water Law, commonly known as just Law, is a pirate captain and a former Shishibukai, a group of 7 powerful pirates who have allied themselves with the world government. In the story, Law and Luffy initially meet as enemies at Sabaody Archipelago but later fought together against the Marine Admiral Kizaru. During the Marineford War, Law, who was watching the war from afar, later performed surgery on Luffy to save his life. They eventually become allies and form a temporary alliance to achieve a common goal of defeating Doflamingo and the pirate Emperor Kaido. Although Law is in a temporary alliance with the Straw Hat crew, he is trusted and treated more like a friend from all members of the crew. Number 3. Former Admiral Aokiji. Aokiji is a former admiral of the Marines, one of the highest ranking and most powerful officials in the world government. He is known for his power to manipulate ice and his laid-back personality. Luffy's first encounter with Aokiji was during the beginning of the Water 7 arc. Later, during the Marineford War, a battle between the Whitebeard pirates and the Marines, Aokiji was one of the main leaders of the Marine forces and fought against the Whitebeard pirates, including Luffy and his allies. After the war, Aokiji, who was one of the 3 admirals, resigned from the Marines and went into hiding, but he was later seen helping the Straw Hat pirates and their allies, in an indirect way. Number 2. Crocodile. In One Piece, Crocodile initially appears as an enemy of the Straw Hat crew and specifically to Luffy, as the leader of the criminal organization Baroque Works and the main antagonist during the Alabasta arc. He has a devil fruit power that allows him to turn his body into sand and control it. During the final battle against Crocodile, Luffy was unable to defeat him alone, but with the help of Princess Vivi, the rest of the Straw Hat crew, and some of the citizens of Alabasta, they were able to defeat him. After his defeat, he was arrested by the Marines. In Impel Down, he met with Luffy and offered his help to escape the prison. In exchange, Luffy helped him to escape too, and Crocodile helped the Straw Hat in the Marineford War by fighting against some of the most powerful Marines and the current Shishibukai. Number 1. Buggy the Clown. Buggy the Clown is a former pirate apprentice on the Pirate King's ship and was first introduced as an enemy of the Straw Hat pirates. He is a powerful pirate with the ability to separate his body parts and control them, thanks to the Bara Bara no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit. He is known for his comedic antics and his tendency to make mistakes. Throughout the series, Buggy and Luffy have several encounters, where Buggy tries to capture Luffy, but Luffy always manages to escape. However, as the series progresses, Buggy starts to develop a grudging respect for Luffy's strength and determination, especially after knowing Luffy is Dragon's son. In the Impel Down arc, Buggy is also imprisoned in Impel Down, the world government's prison. He meets Luffy, who is also there to save his brother Portgas Diaz. Buggy and Luffy form a temporary alliance to escape the prison, and Buggy helps Luffy and his allies by using his powers to create distractions and fight against the guards and other powerful prisoners. In the Marineford War arc, Buggy also joins the fight against the Marines and Whitebeard's crew, and helps Luffy and his allies to escape the Marines' encirclement and fight against powerful Marines.